Good morning, year three. We're looking at lesson 5 of unit 6. I hope you had a fantastic Wellbeing Wednesday yesterday, got up to some creative things and wrote some interesting literacy stories. But for now, let's crack on with our last lesson of money. One of the things that I know I will be doing with my class, and I'll discuss it with your class teachers too, but I'll be setting the year threes their end of unit today. I don't really think it's fair hanging that over until the first Monday back after half term. So once you've done today's lesson, you'll be able to complete your end of unit for money either today or by Friday. Okay, so there's no rush. Normally we'd have a TT Rockstar battle, which is now Sumdog on a Friday. So if you have time on Friday, then you can complete your end of unit by tomorrow. Okay, so here's your power up for today. I'm going to keep it short, sharp, and sweet. You need to use the greater than, equal, or less than sign to predict. First of all, so have a quick look. Think of how many coins there are, and think which number's bigger than a pound, or smaller than a pound, or the same as a pound. And once you've done your prediction, I want you to work out the cost of this money on the left, and to see whether it's the same as, less than, or more than a pound on the right. Okay, off you go. So hopefully you've predicted and you've now also had a go at your answers. So here are mine. And at the bottom you had a challenge there of telling you how many coins you had of a certain denomination, of a certain amount. And I got the total of £1.30, and that my amount is an even number because it's got a 0 in the ones column. So I know it's an even number. So that's the answer to your challenge at the bottom. Problem solving today. We've got Sophia and Lee at an accessory store that's selling sun hats and glasses and watches and all sorts of things fancy. And our questions are revolving around problem solving with money today. So let's have a look at our Discover task in a bit more detail. Sophia buys a pair of sunglasses and a watch. How much change does she get from £50? So what am I looking for here? Well, I need to know the cost of the sunglasses. And if I look in the middle of my screen there, on a stand are all the sunglasses labelled up at £19. I then also need to know the cost of a watch, which is, if I look over on the right, I'm just going to get my arrow. If I look over here, I've got £28. So I've got sunglasses at £19, and I'm just going to write that here, £19. And I've got my watch at £28. Okay, but my question's not asking me to do anything with those numbers as in find a total. It's asking me to find out how much change I get from £50. So what am I going to have to do? Well, I think I'm going to need to find the total of the amount of the two items and then work out how much change I get. If you'd like to have a go before I show you and talk you through the share, then pause the video here and I'll show you on the next screen. So looking at our share, sunglasses were £19, our watch was £28, and Dexter here is telling us he found his answer by using the column addition. And that's here. I've got a column addition. So let's have a look at that column addition first. I've got £19, so I've got 110, 9 ones. I've got £28, so I've got 2 10s and 8 ones. Remember, we always need to make sure the numbers are in the right column so that I know what my number is at the end, and I need to find the total. Here, I've got 19 and £28. See, if you've not had a go already and pause the video on the previous slide, I'd like you to pause the video now and see if you can work out the answer to what the total cost of £19 and £28 is, and see if your answer is the same as mine. So pause your video and have a go. So if I look at adding 9 and 8 together, because we always start in our ones column, I've got 17. So the number 7, the ones, goes into my ones column, and I'm going to carry at the bottom. And we've talked about this before. I'm carrying at the bottom. You can carry it at the top, but I find that the bottom's easier. It's just cleaner. It just reminds you to add it in and it doesn't confuse you. So I've got 7 in my ones column and I've got to carry a group of 10 over to my tens column. And I already had a 1 and a 2 there, so that's 3 and 4. So my answer here is going to be £47. But that's not the answer, is it? That's not the answer I'm looking for. The answer I'm looking for is how much change did she get from paying with a £50 note. So £47, if I count on, I've got 40, if I start at 47 and I jump on in groups of 1, I've got 48, 49, 50. So I've got 50 here. So how many jumps did I have? I had 1, 2, 3. So what I have as my change is 50 take away 47, and Sophia would get £3 change from her £50 note. I hope you got the same answer as me. The second part of our question is, how much does Sophia save by buying a pack of 6 bangles rather than 6 single bangles? So my arrow is already on conveniently the pack of 6, which are £1.50. And if I go over here, I can see that bangles are 35p each. So I know I'm saving by buying 6. When you might buy a multi-bag of crisps or a multi-pack of anything, you're always going to save because they want to sell you more. And when you buy them individually, they always cost more. So I want to know, how much does she save? Okay. Have a pause of your video now that you know the cost of the single bangles at 35p and the pack of bangles at £1.50. See if you can work out how to answer this question before I show you how I do it. Off you go. So the single bangles cost 35p each. If I do 6 groups of 35, I get 210. And I found the column method a lot easier. So if I show you here, I do 5 times 6 is 30, 3 in the tens column, 0 in my ones column. And then I have to do 6 times 30. So I put a place value holder down here and do 6 times 3, which is 18. 180 is actually what 6 times 30 equals. And so then I add the two numbers together and I get 210. 210p is also the same as £2.10. So if Sophia was to buy 6 bangles individually, she would be charged £2.10. That's the total cost of those 6 bangles. But I can buy a pack of bangles as a 6 for £1.50. So let's see what I'm working out here. So I'm going to start my number line at £1.50 because that's what I know the pack costs. And I'm going to count all the way up to £2.10 or 210. So I can do one big jump. I wonder if you could pause your video and think about what my one big jump here would be to help me get to 210 or £2.10 really quickly. Pause the video and have a go. So my big jump is going to be of a jump of 50 because what that's going to do is it's going to get me to £2. Okay, and here I'm jumping in groups of 10. I've got £1.60, £1.70, £1.80, £1.90 and £2. So my number line is true to the amount. And then what do I need to jump from £2 to get to £2.10? Well, I only need to jump another 10p, don't I? So altogether, I've jumped 50p and a 10p to get to that answer there. And I'm working out what the difference is between my two amounts. So over here, I've got £2.10. If I take away £1.50, I'm left with 60p. Sophia saves 60p by buying a pack of 6 bangles as opposed to 6 individual single bangles. I hope you got the same answer as me there. Fabulous. Right, think together. Sophia buys 2 hairbands. The hairbands over here I can see are £2 and 80p. And to help me, I've got a £2 coin, a 50, 60, 70 and 80. So I've got £2.80, and I've got that twice on my screen. And what I'm going to do here, the strategy I'm going to use is I'm going to add the big pounds together first. So £2 and £2 equals £4. 80p and 80p. Well, I know what double 8 is, which is 16. So my 80 add 80 is actually going to equal 160p, and equal the same as 160p is £1.60. If I take away my group of 100, because remember there's 100 pennies in a pound, I take away my 100, that's £1, and I'm left with 60p. So the total cost of my hairbands isn't £1.60, because remember I've still got my 4 that I had for my £2 coins here. So I need to add my pounds together. So if I add £4 and £1, I've got £5, and then I'm left with the 60p. So the total cost of my 2 hairbands is £5 and 60p. Brilliant. There is another way that you could have worked that out actually. You could have done 280p add 280p. And by doing it that way, you could have done a column addition. Okay, so if I just put a line across here, oh, I'm not in a colour. So if I put a line across here, what you could have done is nothing add nothing is nothing. Just put that underneath. 8 add 8 is 16, so I would have had my 6 under my tens column, and I would have had to have carried my 1 under the hundreds column. And then 2 add 2 is 4, add my 1 at the bottom would give me 5, and I would put that in there under my hundreds. So my answer would have been 560p, and that's the same as £5 and 60p. Okay. Question 2. Lee buys a cap. The cap costs £6 and 30p, I can see. He pays with a £10 note. How much change does he get? Now underneath you've got a number line starting at £3, and it goes all the way up in jumps of £1 to £10. I'm not quite sure. I wonder if you can work out what these little lines in between equal. If you know that each of these jumps is £1, I wonder if you can work out how many, what the value is of those little lines in between. So your question that you're answering here is £10, which is what Lee paid with. Take away £6 and 30p, which is what the cap cost, is going to leave him with what? What change does he get? I want you to pause the video at this point, and I'd like you to have a go. Off you go. I'm hoping I'm surrounded by Year 3 superstars, all of whom can tell me what those little lines in between my pounds on my number line equal. Well, if we count how many lines we've got, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, including that. So if I've got a jump of 100 here, because it's £3 to £4, so that's a difference of 100p, and I've got 10 lines in between, 100 divided by 10 equals 10. So each of these lines equals 10p. And that's important because I've got 30p to take away from my £10. Now there's a couple of ways you can do this. You could find £6.30 on your number line and work your way up, or you can go backwards from £10 down to £6.30, and that's what I'm going to do. So because I'm actually taking it away from 10. So from here, I'm going to go back to £1 to 9. I haven't quite got to £6.30 yet, so I'm going to need to take away another jump of a 1. I still haven't got to my £6.30, so I'm going to do another jump of 1. Would I do another jump of 1 at this point? Pause the video and have a think before I tell you what I'm going to do. So hopefully you've thought about this and realised that we don't need another jump of 1, because if I did another jump of £1, I would go to £6, which is actually less than what the cap cost. What I need to do is I need to get to this point here, which is 30 pence. Because remember, each of these little lines equals 10 pence. So if you look at your £6, that's £6 and 10, £6 and 20, £6 and 30. So I need to get to where that red arrow is pointing to. So my little jump now is actually going to be of 70p. And just to show you, I'm just going to move that 70 out of the way. If you count with me from here in tens, it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 and 70. So if I take away 1, 2, £3 and 70 pence, I get to the cost of the cap, which is £6.30. And how does that help me answer my question? Well, actually what I've worked out is how much change Lee gets. Lee will get £3 and 70 pence change, because from £10, that's what I've had to take away and jump on my number line to get to the cost of the cap. Okay, I hope that makes sense. It did go quite quick. If you need to go back a couple of minutes and see if you can work through that answer again. You might have decided to jump on from £6.30, so you would jump that 70 pence to your £1 to make it easy, and then you would do the jumps of £1 going forward. So hopefully you've got the same answer. But if you've not, go back and have a look at your number line and see where yours might be different to mine. Question 3, we do have a question 3. Normally, the last few lessons it's been the challenge. Find half of £2 and 90 pence. And then it's asking you to complete the number sentence there. Half of £2 and 90 pence is so many pounds and so many pence. And it's giving you the picture of £2 and 90. Now, this is how great maths is. There are 3 different ways that I can think of, just off the top of my head, to help you work out finding half of £2 and 90. There may be other methods that you have that you might use, and as long as they work and you get the right answer, I don't really mind which version or which method you use. But I'll share the 3 methods that I've thought of with you now. The first method is one that pretty much takes us right back to lesson 1, where you were given a website to go to and see if you wanted to use a £2 coin. You could separate it into £1, and you could separate your £1 into 50p's and your 20p's into 10p's, and it was using that system of halving what the value of the coin was. So that's what we're going to do here today. The £2 coin, I know I can separate into 2 £1 coins, and I know that the 50 pence could be shared into 2 lots of 25. I know that 25 add 25 equals 50. With the 20 pences there, I'm just going to draw a ring around that 120 pence, because there's no point halving them into 10p's. They're the same coin, so I'm just going to take one of those coins. So if I look at putting my 2 £1 into these 2 boxes, and my 25 pences into my 2 boxes, and my 20 pences into my 2 boxes, because I'm sharing equally, I'm finding half, so I'm sharing into groups of 2. What have I got all together? Well, I've got £1 and 45 pence. Is that what it was? No. £1 and 45 pence is my answer. Okay. The other method I thought of was that you could convert all of your amount into pence. So you could go for 290 pence. I've put all of my pennies together. I'm dividing them by 2. And that would give me 145 pence. And I know if I take away a group of 100, because that's what a pound has in it, if I take away a group of 100, I get £1, and then I'm left with my 45 pence there. The third method that I thought of was that you could half the £1, so you were just working with it from here. You half the £2 and you get your 2 groups of £1. And then you just half the 90 pence. You half the pence, which gives you 45 and 45. 45 add 45 would equal 90. So I know that if I shared my £2.90 equally, half of it would be £1.45. And I've had that answer now 3 times. So I know that that's right. So the 3 methods I'm showing you are ways of checking, but they're also that they all work. You can see that they all work because I get the same answer. Whichever method works for you is fine. Okay, so if you find yourself trying to answer a question in the book and you want to use a method that's trying to get you to use a different method, then don't be scared to use whatever's easier for you. Question 4 is your challenge, and as always, your class teacher will tell you whether they want you to do your challenge. If you'd like to challenge yourself, you can always ask your teacher for it, and I'm sure they'll be happy to share it with you. I know I will. And then in your workbooks, we're on pages 63, 64 and 65. So if you're working in your workbook and you've come and collected yours from the office, then fantastic. You can still do that. You can still come and collect your workbooks from school if you want to, if you find it easier to fill it in your book. The blue box is there again. Use the strategies that you know in question 1 and question 2 to help you work out your answers. And I've just said that at the end of question 3. In question 3 in your workbook, use a ruler. So in this page here, okay, use a ruler, please, to draw your lines. Or if you're doing it online, there should be a tool where you can just draw a straight line, and maybe use different colours if it helps to show us what your answers are and what you're linking. Okay. Your challenge and your reflect in this worksheet are pretty standard, things that you would normally do. Your challenge, I'm afraid, is there to make your brain hurt and to make it work. Flex your maths muscles and make sure that you give it a good go. Okay. It's difficult, but it's difficult for a reason. It's trying to get you to think about your maths in a slightly different way. Okay, so this brings us to the last lesson for this half term. Well done to all of you. You have been amazing with your maths, and I just want to take the time here to thank you. Thank you for putting up with listening to my voice and my crony crappy jokes. But yeah, well done. You've got to the end of your first half term. We will see you for your year 3 maths next term, but just keep going. Have a good rest, and we'll speak to you on that first Monday back. Okay? Enjoy.